they have, the infrastructure that they require. So for us in the ministry, it's always great to be able to see that over 5 years, I think the last election, we were at about 78% 3G coverage. Now that coverage has significantly increased. We are at over 96.4%, and this is measured through the Communications Authority. And really, I want to thank the MNOs, the mobile network operators, for taking time to really roll out the services for us, not just for elections, but for usage across the country. Our connectivity is also not just 3G. I think most of the connections are now 4G, which is allowing people to really enjoy the services of many other service providers online. So I would say we're very pleased that as a country, we're leading at the front on the continent in terms of our connectivity. We have sufficient cables that have landed, over 6 cables that have given us sufficient capacity, which has kept doubling, that will allow us to be able to have even better connectivity. It looks like I should present. Yes, when you see people hovering this much, then is this the same one? Okay. I'm practicing for, is it 6 days? After 6 days, private sector, we'll be doing presentations like this. Normally we don't, in government, we don't do these presentations. Is it coming up? Okay, so once again. Oh, excellent. Okay. So the ministry's scope, so that it's clear for everybody, is ensuring that we have network coverage. This is not only for the general election, although it's used this time, but we want to ensure for education, for health, for all the different services in the country that we need, that we have sufficient network coverage. So even the satellite coverage, the licenses that are issued allow then for us to have that 100% coverage. There's also ensuring that we have the good quality of service for all the services that are being provided, whether it is sending messages, whether it is ensuring that it's available throughout. We also want to ensure that people are not hacking and sending messages from people, and that the whole process is managed well, so in terms of cyber security. And then on the media and broadcast side, ensuring that we have an open, free media who can say the things they need to. But again, issues of fake news, all those need to also be managed, and especially on the social media side. So when we're looking at the areas where we work closely with the IEBC, is ensuring that there is sufficient capacity with the mobile operators. We do this through the Communications Authority. They're the regulator for this sector, both for media as well as for the mobile operators. But ensuring we have sufficient spectrum. Now we're in the process of issuing spectrum for 5G, which is exciting because then the quality and speeds of services will increase. As I said, we monitor the quality of services. We ensure that even for broadcasters, they are able to have their signal available. Nobody is interfering with the signals, and that is managed well. Monitoring social media to ensure that that is, again, being used appropriately, and looking at the coverage versus the, say, polling stations for the general election, and then ensuring that we all adhere to clear guidelines during this general election. I think one request that the IBC has made to media is that media, because the election is final at the polling station, media is allowed to have their own tally, and they can be able to provide citizens with the necessary results. Even if IBC is taking time, media can keep the country calm by providing the necessary results from their tallying centers, so long as that they're getting the information from the Form 34A from the polling station of the IEBC. So as a ministry, we've been coordinating and collaborating with various agencies. This is to ensure that we are able to coordinate and ensure that the elections flow smoothly. So these agencies include the National Security Advisory Council, that's NSAC. They have a technology side that looks at all the requirements. For example, if you look at the register, you need to verify that the people in the register are the same people that are in our ID system. Those that are passed on are removed, and so there is that collaboration that happens in ensuring that things are clear. For the MNOs, ensuring that they have the licenses, they have the spectrum that they need to ensure that we have full coverage. And I would say fortuitously, even though it may not be correct, during the time of COVID, there was a huge need for more increase in network coverage in the country. And that has contributed to the increase that we have seen. So we have an ICT working group that is actually chaired by the IBC, and CA and the MNOs are involved. And so that team has been working together to ensure that we have all the information required. And then, of course, for media and content monitoring, all the different agencies and institutions, NCIC, MCK, KFCB, and all these other organizations coming together to ensure that media is also managing the information that is going out. I'm sure you've already started seeing some of the fake videos that come out there. So there's fake videos, there's sometimes even fake information. How do we ensure that we manage those? The broadcast and media content monitoring is also a key part, and that's what I'm talking about, ensuring that people, like now polls are coming out. Which are the real polls? What is the correct position? So media really are the custodians of ensuring that that information is correct, and so we've left that responsibility to media. And of course, cyber security. This is where either hacking of systems within the country and ensuring that IBC has the full capability also protecting their systems. As we stand, the MNOs, as I've said, have really done a great job, and I want to commend Safaricom for the work they've done in upgrading their whole infrastructure to 4G. And I can report that they are also preparing on 5G, and they have all that they require to do that. So we're quite happy, and obviously the other MNOs have been doing the same, Airtel and Telkom Kenya. And we know that the way IBC has structured, they've got 2 operators for each KIMS kit. And so far, there has been no complaint in terms of the coverage. We are expecting to see a huge increase in usage during the election, but I think this was tested, as I mentioned, during the COVID time, and we hope that the operators will just ensure they have sufficient capacity when so much data is being transacted. I think the numbers on the polling centers, we talked about the 1,111 that did not have network coverage, but they have satellite coverage. So that there are over 1,500 satellite modems that IBC has confirmed they have, and therefore they will be able to transmit from those locations as required. My understanding, I'm not IBC, is that those kits will also be sending on an hourly basis results on how many people have been authenticated and have voted, so that at least citizens are kept informed on where we are. The ICT infrastructure is very important. I know in some places in the north, they've been having challenges of even insecurity, where some people have been bringing towers down. So, and it's an expensive but also risky process. But I can say that the security teams have worked very hard to ensure that we're protecting our network in those areas, and the MNOs have been working with us. So again, those places are covered. We also have directed that the networks, no more upgrades or improvements, that we hold This means people should not be digging up to bring cables and so on during this time, so that we minimize any network outage that's already in process. I think the other issues I've already addressed. These are issues of protecting the infrastructure that is being done for the election already. So we have both the police and even KDF in certain areas, ensuring that those towers are protected. Coordination continues. I think this is one example of the coordination, ensuring everybody has the right information, knows who's doing what their responsibilities are, and then taking that up so that there are no surprises come the election, and there are areas or gaps that are not taken care of. I can say as a country, we're very fortunate. We have the infrastructure, we have the technical people, we have the capabilities, and so we're not expecting that we're going to have any surprises. What's also important is that many meetings have been going on like this by the different stakeholders. I think IBC is now holding daily meetings for people who want to find out anything, so that is a great position. So it's a breakfast. Let me stop there and hand back to the president. I don't know if you're going for elections one of these days, but